What is up, true believers? The eternal truth. The eternal truth. The eternal truth. The eternal truth behind our modern mythology.
What is up, true believers? It's Mason here with Comics and Crosses, where we discuss the eternal truths behind our modern mythology. And today is Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022. We just missed 22/22. That was yesterday, so hopefully you did something terrific. I saw a lot of posts about Two-Face, who at different times has been very obsessed with the number 2, understandably. My favorite Two-Face story. I think my favorite Two-Face story would have to be The Long Halloween, because it's sort of like his origin. It's very, I guess it's that's more of a Harvey story, but it is also a Two-Face story. See the duality there? Yeah. So The Long Halloween, great Two-Face story, great Batman story. I've heard that the new The Batman, Matt Reeves' Batman movie starring Robert Pattinson as Batman, as Bruce Wayne, is based on The Long Halloween, but I'm not, or influenced by it. I'm not sure how. I mean, The Dark Knight was really influenced by it, even had a scene or two from the comic straight in the movie, one with Harvey Dent and Batman and Jim Gordon up on the rooftop. So we'll see what that means for the Batman movie. But yes, so it is February. It is the 23rd now, not the 22nd, but it is also Wednesday. It's New Comic Book Day. So I hope that you guys all have comics coming in, that everything arrives and is not delayed, as it sometimes has been lately from Diamond, the indie books and all that. It's pretty icy where I'm at. I am in Fort Worth, Texas, and it is 25 degrees outside, and it's a little windy, and it is painful to the face to even walk outside for just a minute. But regardless, I'm going to try to make it to my comic book shop today, because tomorrow it's probably going to snow. So I don't plan on going out in the snow, so we'll just have to ride with it and see how it goes. Yeah, what's up, Aggressively? Happy New Comic Book Day to you as well. Excuse me. So, whoops. Sorry, I bounced my desk a little bit here. Yeah, so I'll be going over what I'm pulling today. I missed Monday. Normally I'm on Monday as well, but it was President's Day here in the good old US of A, and I couldn't help but take a moment to reflect on our presidents. No, not really, but I had family in town, and so didn't make it live. Had somebody sleeping in my office. What am I going to do? Actually, I could have gone live on my phone. Wouldn't have been as dynamic of a background, but it is what it is. Drop my little banana Lego guy. Anyhow, so the Peacemaker show has just ended. I heard a lot of good things from there. What's up, John Stone? Thanks for joining the show. Back at you, my nerdy friend. Assuming you're a nerd and not a bully here to bully some nerds. But the Peacemaker show has ended. It actually was pretty popular. I heard a lot of good feedback from Peacemaker. Maybe let me know if you guys liked Peacemaker the show. I heard some people say that it was better than all of the Disney Plus Marvel shows. So that's a matter of opinion, but let me know what you think. Turns out John Stone's more of a bully than a nerd, to be honest. Well, that's okay. All are welcome here. So yeah, Peacemaker show has ended. We are coming up swiftly on the release of The Batman, which I am excited about. And excuse me, sorry. Also, we got some cool comic books coming out today. So let me just run some of this by you real quick here. So here's some of the things that I'm pulling that I'm excited about. Maybe you got more books that I'm not getting, but for those of you familiar, AWA Upshot, a label of comics, has created their own interconnected comic verse, which is very young. So if you want to check out some of the trades on that, then what's going on in the chat here? I'm going to make an account that goes to all our favorite channels and talks about stuffing them in lockers. Hey, trigger warning. Sorry, guys. I should have mentioned about that. If you have been shoved in a locker, I support you. I stand with you. Any bullying you may see in the chat, please report to YouTube. So, but AWA has got this, what I call the Straczynski verse, or you could call it the Resistance verse. If you read the Resistance and the Resistance Uprising, imagine there was a great virus that wiped out. And weird thing is, this came out about the same time as COVID, but a major virus has wiped out the majority of the world's population. And some of those who survived developed superpowers. And so, but not all are exactly superheroes. Some have powers that only last for a few months. Some are just kind of normal people trying to hide their powers. So there's been the Resistance, there's been Moss and Telepaths. I bring this up because the Telepath storyline ends today, talking about telepathic people in the AWA Resistance verse. I really liked Erratic. Erratic was a fun, almost like young adult kind of superhero kid in high school, kind of like their version of Peter Parker. So that one was a fun one for me. And hopefully they make another volume of that. It was a good little thing. So that is coming out today. Also, we got Deaths of Wolverine #3. For those of you who are following that storyline, I'm enjoying it. I actually haven't been reading Lives of Wolverine. I've just been reading this one because I was keyed into the fact that it was a direct follow-up to Inferno. So if you're following Hickman's run on X-Men and Inferno and everything, Deaths of Wolverine picks up right after that. Strange Academy, one of the ones that I really like, an ongoing, couple good ongoings, Robin and Strange Academy, some DC and Marvel ongoings that I'm really enjoying. Spider-Man Action Comics. Action Comics has been lit lately. If you guys are for Superman, Action Comics has been really defining time for Superman. And then also Philadelphia, a really, really good horror from Rodney Barnes on Image. That one feels like it's been a long time since the last one came out, but I could be wrong. And another big one is a one-shot called Supermassive, which is the world of Radiant Black. So Radiant Black is at about issue 12 or 13. So if you've been following that one and liking it, kind of a different sort of Power Rangers kind of feel. And it's introducing some new characters and expanding on that universe from Kyle Higgins. So that's another universe that I'm digging, just kind of a world of characters. So that's coming out, some good stuff. Those are some of the things I'm reading. You guys can let me know if you got different stuff you're reading. So Rings of Power from Amazon. So got a question about if I'm looking forward to the Rings of Power. So Rings of Power is coming out. I don't even know when that's coming out. I know that a trailer dropped around the Super Bowl time, but I don't know when it's due to actually hit. But this has been a long time in development, and sometimes shows spend a lot of time being developed, and eventually they come out and get it right. But most of the time, they spend a lot of time in development because they can't get it right, and at some point they got to pull the trigger because they invested a ton of money, so they double down on their marketing and hope that that it'll do okay. Amazon has they paid like $1 billion for the rights to do Lord of the Rings stuff, and from what I see, I'm not impressed. And I've seen some videos pop up about this um, super fan. So a lot of the talk, so kind of what is sometimes, in my opinion, a kiss of death for entertainment is when all of the promotion talks about the diversity. And it's yes, a lot of the conversation around the Rings of Power has been that they're making Tolkien's world of the Lord of the Rings more diverse, and we're seeing, I don't know, a black dwarf woman and other stuff like this. So personally, as a person of color, I guess you could say, I'm Hispanic, I'm Mexican, but I don't really care a ton about diversity. I care more about a good product, a good story. What's up? We got Cole's Comics Claims jumping in. Good to see you, brother. But what I've seen. So anyway, so sometimes that kind of putting the your best foot forward, and when your best foot is their show's going to be diverse. I don't know. That's how they led with Eternals, and it never looked good to me. Just looking at it, I thought this is going to be a slow, boring movie, and I heard it was very dramatic. It was from a Oscar-winning director, so I could understand it having a different feel, and sometimes that's okay too. I mean, some people really love The Watchmen, and that's a very long, kind of slow burn, but a a very masterfully done Zack Snyder film. So it just depends on your opinion. So when it comes to the whole thing about being a go woke go how now brown cow go woke go broke, it kind of could be one of those situations for them, which would be devastating because Lord of the Rings is a major IP, and to botch that is going to be bad news. A lot of people, a lot of money, a lot of things going on. So, but aggressively loves Tolkien stuff. So sometimes it's like you gotta kind of ride with it to see more of the stuff you want to see. I don't know. So Cole says that Eternals is good if you like the Eternals. It's weird and not part of the cookie cutter Marvel template, and it's slow and weird, but I like that stuff. Okay. Yeah, so definitely, like I was suspecting, a different vibe, a different feel, a different pacing than you're used to with Marvel stuff. So, but if if you can go with the flow of that, then you'll be good. I didn't bother to watch it. I did like the Neil Gaiman Eternals. I enjoyed that story, and I enjoyed the art from it, the feel of it. It was cool. I just felt like with the Eternals, it's kind of a funny thing because they're not as popular as like the Avengers and things like this. So seeing them, it kind of felt like, and I can only imagine for people who are not familiar with comics barely at all, that these seem like kind of like cheap knockoff versions of real superheroes, or the superheroes people know. So okay, and according to Cole, it might be a good fit if I enjoyed Neil Gaiman. So I think it's on Disney Plus now, so I'll have to give that a try. But that is on the Eternals. Another thing that I saw that's coming out is they announced that Star Trek is actually getting another sequel. The Chris Pine, Captain Kirk, the whole J.J. Abrams version of Star Trek. And I really enjoyed Star Trek. Like the first Star Trek movie, I don't know if you'd call it a reboot or, whatever, that came out with Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto, all that, as Spock, was amazing. I mean, that was one of the most entertaining, fun adventure movies I've ever seen. It just, the pacing, everything, it was a blast. And I thought it really reinvigorated the franchise. Although I'm not a hardcore Trekkie. So I know that in fact, I haven't enjoyed Star Trek because, in my experience, a lot of Star Trek has been, it's just slower. It's just like more, situational, and it's not like Star Wars. You don't got people swinging around laser swords all the time. They got little choo choo stun to kill. That's as exciting as it gets. Um, and yeah, so it was an official announcement, which I was surprised to hear because it's been years where they've talked about trying to um, do do a another Star Trek, and in fact, there was at one point plans for Chris Hemsworth to come back because he was in the first movie as Captain Kirk's father, and so there was going to be some time travel involved, and he was going to see his father again. I think it got stuck in development hell because Chris Hemsworth had become a much bigger character and celebrity in the time from Star Trek 1 to when they were trying to make that. He was Thor now, and he was a big deal, so he kind of needed, the script to kind of be written more for him and money and all those things. So I hope that they do it because if anything, I know a lot of people weren't crazy about Star Trek Beyond, or even a lot of people don't like the Into Darkness, which was kind of like a Wrath of Khan remake. But the casting was brilliant. And rest in peace, Chekhov. I forget the name of the actor who played Chekhov, but who tragically died in an accident. That was crazy. Yeah, all right, aggressively, you're with me. Yeah, I really love the Kelvin verse. But then again, like I say, I'm not a true traditional Star Trek fan. So, and I'll admit that, sometimes I like things and I have to say, hey, but I'm not a hardcore, so maybe I like it because it's different. And the true, like a Trekkie friend of mine told me, he's like, I don't consider it canon, but I'll watch it. Let's see. But John says that they are massively unsuccessful compared to how successful they could be if they weren't pushing a woke agenda. Wait, are we going back to some other conversation? I don't know what he's talking about there. But anyway, yeah, so Star Trek's coming out. Daniel Radcliffe, who you might remember as Harry Potter, is going to be Weird Al Yankovic. That's some other random news. Not exactly comic book related, but I thought it was kind of interesting. And something else I wanted to bring up is, or kind of maybe I wanted to talk about Batman today. Because the Batman is coming out. I'm getting more and more excited as time goes on, as we get closer to the release of the Batman. I honestly was not excited when I first started seeing stuff from it, especially that first teaser. It just looks super moody and like The Crow and emo and just and I don't want to say this the wrong way, but but Robert Pattinson almost looked too white, like like almost like a vampire. Like, he just looked pale and thin, and I don't know. He didn't have a strong, commanding presence, which I know there was some kind of controversy over his comments about working out or not working out. But as we've seen more of the action in the movie, it looks really legit. I mean, Matt Reeves is a good director, and I like that. I think his use of special effects, the way his filmmaking comes across, the cinematography and everything, is I like that it's not it's very muted. It's not like oversaturated to where you feel like, okay, now I'm seeing the video game portion of this movie. I'm seeing things that I know could never happen in real life. Yeah, they actually have a kind of grit to them that that grounds them and makes them feel like they're textured. I don't know. The visuals are very textured, and it makes it really dynamic, I think, and really kind of almost surprising in a way. So I'm excited to see all this crazy action and Batman stuff going on. He had made a comment, the director, about some of the crazier characters in Batman's rogues gallery, in particular, like Mr. Freeze, and making something like that come to life in his Batman verse, on screen. And I think it would be really cool to see something like Mr. Freeze. I think it'd be really surprising because a lot of the image that's stuck in people's head is Arnold Schwarzenegger, walking around like, I'm going to put you in the cooler, like that, in his Christmas robe hanging out literally in the freezer of somewhere, with his minions and whatever. So a true Victor Freeze could be a really cool thing. And you know I'd be down to see it. I mean, it'd be really cool to see it adapted in a way that that made a lot of sense. So if you guys remember, Batman the animated series was super just definitive for Batman. I felt like Batman the animated series told Batman stories better than a lot of the movies, and in a way that was really true to Batman, true to the comics, true to the feel of it, and really had the essence of the character. And they had a great Victor Freeze show in there, or cartoon episode, maybe a couple with Mr. Freeze. And I think what that show brought out really well was that a lot of Batman's villains are actually very tragic stories. And I think it can get to, where the characters have been going on for a long time and you kind of forget their origins a little bit. But they have a lot of them have in their essence a very tragic way that they came about. Thank you. Appreciate it. New World Order Comics. Yeah. Nice neon. Yeah. This this one came from a place called, I don't remember, but it came from a place in Nashville, and they found them on Facebook, and they had a great sale. And man, neon is expensive. Like normally it's like minimum $300, something like that. I managed to get this thing for less than $200 on sale. So that was dope. Always wanted a neon sign said True Believer. So yeah, so Batman villains, I mean, especially Harvey Dent. That's why I mentioned at the beginning of this show how much I loved The Long Halloween, how that was super definitive for Harvey Dent and for Two-Face. See, there's a duality to there. But yeah, I mean, Victor Freeze, even the Clayface episode in Batman the Animated Series was super good, super sad, super tragic. So I think playing with the Victor Freeze is a villain who really can have motivations that you understand. He's trying to heal his wife of this condition, and he's that sort of thing. So oh, nice. Yeah. So Cole's tracking with me. He's been says Clayface was really good. I've been rewatching those all while I work out lately. Yeah. Really, really cool. I mean, some of the maybe the best for motivation. That's yeah. Yeah, I know. Best to get you distracted. I get distracted so easily. I can't if I'm doing something, I need to really engineer the situation to focus myself. Oh, Jim Lee posted a great sketch of Two-Face yesterday. That's probably what I saw. That's for 222. Yeah, I think I saw the same thing online, and that got me thinking about it. Because was definitely a day for Two-Face, for sure. But yeah, Batman. A lot of Batman's villains have these kind of tragic stories that lead to their motivations being somewhat empathetic, or them being empathetic. You can empathize with them. You can empathize with a man trying to cure his wife. And it's unfortunate that with Arnold Schwarzenegger they didn't get to lean into that too well. But but regardless, I mean, yeah, artsy Bible nerd. That Mr. Freeze movie was horrible all the way around. Yeah, I mean, Arnold wasn't the only thing that tanked that film. I think George Clooney playing the part of a mannequin in a Batman costume was also hurt it, to be sure, and a lot of other cheesy kind of poor choices. But yeah, so I am excited to see where they go with this Batman verse. They got an HBO show, I think potentially two HBO shows planned. One on the Gotham City PD, Police Department, and another one on the Penguin, the Rise of the Penguin, which kind of sounds like Gotham to me, but maybe an older Penguin, not quite a, young 20s limping Penguin. But let's see, aggressively says, I'm watching Superman animated right now and working out. The Metallo episode was hardcore. Dude, Metallo where did he just show up? There was a little preview to World's Finest, I think in the back of Action or somewhere. And Metallo showed up in that. Or no, it was it Robin and Batman? Yeah, and they had Metallo show up. Ever since I was a kid, he was one of the coolest villains. I always dug him. There was, I think Superman 1 after the Crisis. He was like the first villain to show up in the series, and he was like on the cover. It's like Superman. It's your first issue, but it might be your last. Like some kind of classic holdover kind of tones with just Metallo looming over Superman. And I mean, the guy's got a heart of kryptonite. He's like a cyborg kryptonite dude. And yeah, I mean, I would love to see more of Metallo. I think there's been a lot of talk. I think because the start of Henry Cavill's time as Superman has been kind of rough. It was like they had the Man of Steel, and then they went to all of a sudden to this Batman versus Superman thing. They did Justice League. So his kind of ability to flesh out the character of Superman hasn't really gone the way you thought it could have exactly. But probably knows First Metallo. Oh, First Metallo, Superboy number 49. I wonder what year that's from. But yeah, so we've gotten Superman with again with General Zod and what's their names, the other two, and then we got some Justice League stuff. At least he kind of faced. Well, he didn't face Darkseid. I guess he faced Steppenwolf and pretty much whooped him pretty handedly. Maybe Darkseid would be a better fight, but yeah. So I'd love to see. I mean, I think we've all been wanting to see Brainiac. Yeah, so first appearance in Metallo, 1956. So probably not that expensive, right? You could probably just check your shops, see if you find it. So yeah, I would love to see Metallo. I would love to see Brainiac. I think we've all been wanting Brainiac for a long time. And in fact, I think Richard Donner worked with Jeff Johns on a run of Action Comics, or just a small arc in Action Comics where it was meant to be like, I think where he would have taken Superman had he been given a chance to do another sequel. And I think that had a Brainiac story or something. So yeah, but we'll see where that goes. We'll see where Batman goes. DC is definitely just kind of given up on the idea that they could ever create a connected universe that would be anything like Marvel's. So I think rightly so, they're going to give directors creative freedom, let them tell different kinds of stories, let this be a multiverse in the movies already, and let's not worry about creating a shared universe and then taking it multi. Just start right there. And really with DC, that's kind of always been their thing. I mean, Marvel has multiverse stuff going on, but DC's kind of defined by the multiverse because they constantly have to have crises to rectify all the crazy stuff they got going on in their multiverse and the inconsistencies. So I would love to see another Superman movie with Henry Cavill as well. I just watched his Mission Impossible and he was great in it. That's true. That dude is massive. Like he is like the size of a refrigerator. Yeah, I mean, he was perfect casting for Superman. one thing about Henry Cavill's Superman is now um I haven't watched Man of Steel since it was in theaters. Um, but it was a powerful movie. It actually made me cry. I did a video about this on my channel. It's one of the comic book movies that made me cry. But I felt like it was a disappointment. I felt like I was kind of disappointed with it because it was so heavy that it wasn't as enjoyable as I felt like it needed to be to really take, Superman, for it to really take off, no pun intended, to the heights of success that it needed or that it should have had, especially if it was going to launch a whole DC kind of movie universe at the time, which is where their heads were at. It had the right Superman. It had, well, I'd almost say right director, but Zack Snyder just doesn't do. He just doesn't do plot development and character development and those sorts of things. He's essentially a music video director who has continued to succeed and grow in his career. Um, you know, he's just visuals. I mean, he makes visuals that will stick in your mind for forever. That is his magic. But when it comes to character, that's never been his thing. I mean, Christopher Nolan was like an executive producer on Man of Steel, and they had everything, but it just fell kind of flat for me. I mean, it was great, but it just lacked a little more that I felt like it could have had to really been something that you left the theaters just feeling like, yes, that's Superman. I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's just how I feel. I just hope that Henry Cavill gets another chance to make a truly great Superman movie that'll really cement him. I mean, he's perfect. You see him, you're like, that's Superman. But I just want him to get another chance to really be like, make that sequel that's just better than the original, that you're like, yes, make his T2 Judgment Day, make his, I don't know, Wrath of Khan, make his The Dark Knight, make that sequel that's going to stick in people's heads forever. Let's see. Cole said, I might be kind of wrong. I guess Action Comics 252 is the first appearance. Superboy was Jor-El's robot, Metallo. Oh, interesting. I know nothing of this character, so not sure. Man of Steel is great. I do wish they had depicted Superman as the person who finds a way out of the impossible situations. Neck break, dad death is frustrating for lack of creativity, in my opinion. Yeah, his father dying in kind of that situation, I get it. It was a dilemma. It was kind of trying to really show. What I did like about it is you got a sense of the weight of what it is to be Superman, kind of the lessons his father was impressing upon him, the situations as a kid. And that is something that we hadn't really seen done super well. I mean, not in depth because it was a different time. It was the 70s, so the weight of what it is to be Superman, and the juxtaposition with who he is as Clark Kent and two humans. I did a video on the parallels between Jesus Christ and Superman. And so it's referenced a lot. I even know a book that was written on it. I haven't read the book, but a friend suggested it to me. And there is that idea of great power, almost immeasurable, limitless power, but then becoming gentle and close and actually very human. He's raised in kind of, in Kansas, in the heart of America, and given kind of those old, country values. He's from a small town and he cares about working hard, about being kind to people, and about standing up for what's right. And, I don't know. I can talk myself into it because I did like Man of Steel, and I'm like right on the line there. And it did, you did get to see kind of that weight of his power, but the way he must control himself in order to serve humanity, to serve mankind, and Jesus in the scripture talking about Jesus, he had to obviously he had to sort of step down and limit himself in order to serve and be a sacrifice for humanity, to be the savior, the hero that the world needed. And so it's interesting. The parallels are always fun to kind of highlight and examine. So I think it'll be interesting to see where they could take Superman's character. I think Justice League, at least the Snyder Cut, highlighted well how significant Superman was. I felt like that was consistent to the DC universe and the void of when he was gone, and how that opened up all kinds of stuff in the universe to come and attack Earth. He is kind of the chief superhero. So where they take it now, I know that Henry Cavill at one point was talking about, I just want to get out there and punch more stuff or something like that, fight some big villains, although they pretty much destroyed Metropolis in the first one. So we'll see where it goes. Those are some of the things I wanted to talk about today. I'd love to hear about any more comics out there that maybe you guys are excited for this week. And hopefully the weather is nice where you guys are at. You get out there and get your comics without any snow or any nonsense like that. I am definitely going to try to get out there today before any snow makes it this way. But thanks guys for dropping in. We had some fun in the chat. It's snowing in Michigan. Oh yeah. Oh, Saga. Yeah. Saga's out. I never read Saga. I got to pick up a trade because I missed the whole train on that one. So it's and I think I'm about 50 some odd issues behind. So I'd have to catch up on that sooner or later. So God bless you guys. Thanks for sticking around. Anybody catching this on the replay, thanks for watching. And I will be back on Friday morning at 8 a.m. Central and chatting comics. Got a interview coming up with a friend of mine from back when I was in California in Sacramento, who started his own comic, actually created a superhero from Sacramento. His name's Brent Trey Sands, and he opened up a comic shop over by the Sacramento Kings NBA arena. And so he's doing some cool stuff, starting his first comic convention in Sacramento. So that'll be pretty cool to have a conversation with him coming up. So take care, guys. Have a great new comic book day, and I will catch you